So my name is Harrison Turner. I am a consultant that works for the Nashville Department of Transportation, and this meeting is for Stonewater Drive on June 19th at 6 p.m. And this is part of the Neighborhood Street Traffic Calming Program. We'll start with a brief overview of the traffic calming program for anybody that wasn't at meeting one, and then we'll get into the design for the street. So just to start out with what is traffic calming. The Neighborhood Street Traffic Calming Program focuses on residential streets. We focus on physical solutions to encourage lower speeds over significant lengths. And that is mostly to do with speed reduction because there's a correlation between speeds and safety. So really trying to get the speeds down on our neighborhood streets. The way we do this is through the 3 E's of traffic calming. The first one is with education, educating people on the dangers of speed. The second E is with enforcement. That's with our great partners at the our Nashville Police Department. They handle the enforcement. And then the third E, which is near and dear to my heart, is the actual engineering that goes behind the Neighborhood Street Traffic Calming Program, trying to engineer the streets to promote safer and slower speeds. The reason we do this is because of our Vision Zero, which is the vision that we will have 0 fatalities on our roadways. There is a direct correlation between speed and safety, particularly when it comes to pedestrian incidents. At 25 miles per hour, a pedestrian only has 89% chance of surviving if they do have an incident, or at 45 miles an hour, they only have 35%, and then at 25, it goes down to 80, or it goes up to 89%, sorry. So reiterate, 45 miles an hour, 35% chance of surviving. If you can get the speeds down to a nice, safe 25 miles an hour, that pedestrian has an 89% chance of surviving an incident. So really trying to lessen the speeds to make sure that if there is an incident, everybody can walk away. This is a very popular program across Davidson County. We've had over 500 neighborhood streets apply for this program, and we were able to select 85 streets in the summer of 2023. And this was one of the streets that was selected. If you have any questions outside the Neighborhood Street Traffic Calming Program, please put them into Hub Nashville. It's a great resource. You can do that by calling 311, or you can go online to hub.Nashville.gov. There also is an app that's easy to use. It's great for any sort of issue that you may find that would be handled by Metro Nashville. I personally have used it to fix sidewalk out on my street that I live on. It's great for anything like that. So anything outside of the traffic calming program, please put it into Hub Nashville and it will get routed to the correct department. So location map for Stonewater Drive. Stonewater Drive starts at Hoggart Fort Road and heads south and then turns as it goes around through the neighborhood, heading to the west. Pretty long stretch for a neighborhood street, pretty dense residential properties all the way around it. So good application for this type of measure, or for these measures, is a long stretch that we can promote a slower speed, make it safe for everybody. So the measures that we are recommending for Stonewater Drive, we'll go through those now. The main one is speed cushions. They're modular, rubberized devices. They have the gaps between them that reduce impact to emergency response vehicles like ambulances. Ambulances are able to kind of center over the cushions a little bit easier because they have a wider wheelbase. They are wide enough to affect regular vehicles. I do drive a fairly decent size SUV and I can't get over it, but an ambulance or a fire truck would be able to. They are 3 inches tall. Their widths are about 6 feet wide, and then they have variable lengths between 7, 10 and a half, and 14 that we can change based on the conditions of the roadway. And they do have a great impact at slowing speeds. This is actual data collected by NDOT at 6 different locations. So the average speed of the locations was 31 miles per hour before the cushions were installed. That was reduced to 22 miles an hour. And then the 85th percentile speed was at 37 miles per hour, and that got reduced down to 25 miles an hour. So they do work. They do a great job at making streets slower and safer for all the users. So this is the actual plan for Stonewater Drive. We are proposing 8 cushions, and these locations are based on eight sets of cushions. These locations are based on the geometry and the vertical alignment of the roadway. So we're trying to space them around 400 to 500 feet between the cushions, but due to driveways, hills, sight distance, that sort of thing, and curves. This was the this is the orientation that we were able to come up with, also including the comments from the first meeting. So we'll go through the individual locations as we go through. I think there's 4 sheets that we'll look through. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat, or you can always unmute and ask. So the first location, we're starting on the west side of Stonewater Drive. That is east of 129 Stonewater Drive. And that's really the first location as you're heading down Stonewater. And then we've got three locations here. As you can see on screen, one would be east of 1748 Stonewater. And then there is one just to the west of River Trail Drive. And then another location right before you get to the curve, right past River Birch Way. There is another stretch of 3 cushions that we're able to do on the next block. One we have north of 1684 Stonewater Drive, and then approximately 400 and change feet away, in front, or 25 feet north of 1641 Stonewater Drive, and then another one before you get to the next intersection, which would be 25 feet south of 1608 Stonewater Drive. And then the last stretch we have right before you get to Riverbook Drive is one last set of cushions, kind of as you're entering Stonewater from Hoggart Fort Road. So we do have those 8 sets of cushions, and these plans are available online if you would like to view them in detail, or if you have any questions, you can ask them now. We'll happy to talk through them. All right, moving forward. So because of the width of Stonewater Drive, it's about 25 feet wide. We are proposing three cushions. As you see on screen, there's about 2.5 foot gap between them, and then there is curb and gutter on Stonewater, so we're able to have about a foot gap between the cushion and the curb and gutter. So it is a set of 3 cushions that will have a little bit of a gap between, but still will not allow cars to drive around them and move through the roadway at a 25 foot width. So moving forward, this is the schedule and kind of where we started from and where we're going to now. So this was an application for this street. There was 2 months of prioritization and selection, getting those from those 500 streets down to the 85 that we were able to select. We did have a neighborhood meeting where we took in comments, and then we're able to go out into the field and do a full design, really narrowing down where those cushion locations are, if there are any other options from our toolbox, and really deciding on those 8 locations. We're currently in the second neighborhood meeting, which is on the bottom left of the screen. And after this meeting, we will go to an online ballot. Those ballots will have a 6-week window for voting. And for this plan to be installed, we need 66% favorable votes on the ballot. And that is 66% of the people who vote. It's not 66% of the people who are eligible to vote. So if only 10 people vote, we need 7 yeses. If 3 people vote, we need 2 yeses. If 100 people vote, then we would need 66 yeses. So it's based on how many people vote. If we do have a successful ballot, then we will order materials and install the devices. That is taking a little bit longer than we would like at this point, based on some shortages and a long queue, because this is a very popular program. There is kind of a line that we have to get in to get these installed. We are working very diligently to get these installed quicker, and we are seeing that construction timeframe get a little bit smaller, but we're still working through that. The way the balloting works is you will receive a ballot very similar to the mailer for this meeting. It will have a unique ID code for every individual home, and every property gets a vote. The voting is open for 6 weeks, and you can vote yes or no. So the ballot zone includes all residential properties churches and schools that front the roadway that is getting the treatment. So if you own property on Stonewater Drive between the limits of those cushions, you will get a vote because you're the ones that are living, playing, and working, and you're the ones that are right there, really impacted by the high speeds on the roadways. So you get a vote. If you do own multiple properties, you don't get multiple votes. You only get one. Vacant properties are ineligible, and then any businesses are ineligible as well. So it's only residential properties, churches, and schools that get a vote. So the question about lowering the speed limit on Stonewater Drive. So currently we're trying to lower the speeds on Stonewater, but we are not lowering the speed limit with this project. That'll be something you can definitely put into Hub Nashville, and they will go and look at that to see if Stonewater Drive is eligible to lower the speed limit. And then renters are not allowed to vote. It's only people that own the properties, because we want people that are actually own the property that are going to be there for a longer time period. And also the way we send out the ballots is through the records of who owns the properties. So it's only the property owners that get to vote, along with churches and schools. So you see there's a picture here of a good portion of the people that vote, and then I'll flip over to the next slide to see the rest of the eligible properties. If you have any questions after this meeting that you want answered, please email NDOT TrafficCalming.Nashville.gov, or you can email me at harrison.turner@kimley-horn.com. Happy to answer any questions that y'all have about the project, or if you have anything right now, feel free to drop them in the chat or unmute and you can ask.
I have a question.
Absolutely.
Thank you. How does the street parking get affected by the speed cushions?
So I'll go back to the cross section here. So the cushion locations, actually I'm gonna go to the overall map. So the cushion locations are at 8 different places along the street. So you can park anywhere between those locations, or you can actually park on the cushion if you really wanted to. I personally live on a street with cushions, and I park on the street because our house does not have a garage or a driveway. So it has not affected me or really anybody else on the street. It'll still be able to park on the street.
Thank you.
Absolutely, great question.
At the last meeting, I also asked if there was a possibility of getting a crosswalk on River of Villages Boulevard and Stonewater.
Correct. So unfortunately, crosswalks are not part of the program typically. So that would be something that you would need to put into Hub Nashville to go to the sidewalk program.
Okay.
That's something they can look at to get installed.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And Pat, I've talked to NDOT about that before, so I'll follow up with them.
Thank you, council member.
Thank you.
You mentioned your driveway and your garage. Are any of these placed immediately in front of a driveway?
I do believe that we have 25 feet center to center as a minimum for this. So and that's center a cushion to center a driveway. So everything is outside the driveways and allows for people to turn around and back out. So we have a rule with the program to not put a cushion directly in front of a driveway, and we actually have minimum tolerances with the program to make sure that everybody can back out of their driveway before they get onto a cushion. I will say that because of the density of the houses, that was a little bit more challenging with this street than some others I've worked on. But we were able to make it work to where none of the cushions are directly in front of a driveway.
Once the construction begins, how long will that take? Will it take just a day? Will it take a few days?
Yes, I don't have the exact construction timeline. I will say there's a lot of screws and bolts that are needed to install the cushions as they bolt them into the pavement. But that being said, it is a pretty quick process. So I would expect minimal disruptions from construction. It's not a roadway reconstruction. There's no concrete or anything like that. It's purely putting the rubberized device out there and bolting it into the pavement. So pretty minimal as far as construction disturbance goes.
And do the cushions affect any of the drainage on the roadways?
They do not affect drainage. I'll go to the cross section here. So the curb is outside the cushions, and there's actually a gap between the cushions and the curb. So as water runs through the curb, it'll just continue to run past the cushions. That's one of the reasons we really like the cushions, is it does not affect drainage on the roadway. Awesome. Any other questions while we have the group together? All right. I'm going to show my email again. So if y'all have any questions after this meeting or anything you want to talk about, feel free to email me at harrison.turner@kimley-horn.com, or you can email NDOT.TrafficCalming.Nashville.gov. Like I said, this meeting has been recorded. It will be posted on YouTube. Feel free to go back and watch it. Meeting 1 is also there as well. And then these plans are posted online for you to view as well.
What would the link for that be?
So if you go, the easiest way is just to Google Nashville traffic calming, but I can also provide the link in the chat. I'll pull it up real quick. So did everybody get that link?
Yes.
Okay, so you should have once you get to that website, you'll have the ability to see different traffic calming meetings, the application process, the plans. Everything is posted to this website.
I'm sorry to ask another question when you're trying to wrap up here.
Oh no, absolutely.
Can you share a street or some streets in the Nashville area that have these installed?
Absolutely. If you go to that website I just posted and click the traffic calming tracker, that actually is a GIS website that shows every street in Nashville that has applied, that had them installed, or has them under design currently.
And they all use the same product. There's not a differentiation.
Sorry, sir, you broke up for a second.
That they all use the same cushion.
So that is our bread and butter. That is the product we like to use the most for a lot of different reasons. If you go to any street that says it has vertical measures, then it will have the cushions. I know, I'm trying to pull up the closest street that has the cushions for you as we're talking. So, I believe Knobdale Road is probably the closest street to y'all, along with Lincoya Drive that has vertical measures. And then you can also go up to Pennington Bend Road as well.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, any other questions? Awesome. So, like I said, if y'all have any questions outside of this program or this meeting, please feel free to email me. Feel free to email NDOT. We'll be happy to respond. So I will go ahead and get the ballots put together and sent out. Expect them to be in your mailbox in the next couple of weeks, and then you'll have. Excuse me, sir. A little bit of feedback. All right. Expect to have them in your mailbox in the next couple of weeks, and then there'll be 6 weeks that you'll be able to vote, and that will all be printed on the ballot. And like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. But thank you all for your time, and if there's no other questions, have a great night.
I have one more.
Oh, go ahead.
One more question. Do you
Absolutely.
have any statistics as far as what are the percentage of neighborhoods that vote yes for this as opposed to no?
So that actually is on the website as well.
Okay.
There actually is the ballot results for individual streets. I don't have the official percentage of people that vote yes or vote no. I do know it is predominantly yes. Most people want them, and most streets really want them. And typically the in favor is, I'm looking through them now, between 75 and 100% yes is kind of the typical answer. I'm seeing a lot of like upper 80s on the answer, but you can actually go to the ballot results page, and it'll tell you every street and whether it passed or failed. There are a few that fail, but most pass.
Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you all for your time. And like I said, if you have anything else, feel free to email me or email NDOT. Or if there are any other final questions, happy to answer them now. But if not, y'all have a great night.
Harrison, you too now. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Harrison, we do have one more question.
Oh, absolutely.
We own 2 properties on Stonewater Drive that would both be affected. What's the reason we can't have 2 votes? Because it would affect a rental. And then also, like, you may not know this, but does it affect trying to sell a house with all these? I mean, one of them is towards the back, so it would be like 7 cushions to get home.
Yes. So happy to answer both questions. And the first one is that's the policy that we have decided on as a group that actually predates my involvement with the program. And that's really, yeah, I don't have the background of exactly why that got decided, but that has been the policy for some time. Is everybody gets 1 vote as a property owner. And then as far as the being able to sell the house, I don't have any stats to back that up, although I was in a meeting a while ago where the council member was able to voice some facts that he saw that said it actually raised home values. I do believe it shows that people care about their community, but I don't have those official stats in front of me, but that is what the council member shared in a different meeting, is that it actually raised home values.
Okay. And then you said these ballots come in the mailbox, not in email, correct?
Correct. It'll look, so you can see on screen, it looks very similar to the mailer that you received. And then everything has a unique ID code.
Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely. Great question. Happy to answer any and all questions while we're here. That's why we do these meetings. All right. Well, hearing none, I'll go ahead and stop the recording. And like I said, any other questions, feel free to email me. And everybody have a great night.
You too.